If you've been watching Fuquay-Varina from the sidelines, trying to decide whether now is the right time to buy, I think this video is going to be for you. Things are happening in this town right now that are going to look very different in 2 or 3 years. I'm Gabe Button. I'm a real estate broker. I live here in Fuquay-Varina, work here. I'm going to walk you through what's coming, why it matters, and what it means for home values in this market. Okay, let's start with the big picture because it sets the stage for everything else. North Carolina added 165,000 new residents in a single year. That's more people that moved here than any other state in the country. Wake County alone is projected to hit 1.2 million people in 2026, and the county estimates that it needs 125 to 175,000 new housing units over the next 10 to 15 years. That demand has to go somewhere, and a significant portion of it is flowing directly into the southwest Wake County area where Fuquay-Varina sits. That is not a guess. That is what the data says. And when population grows faster than housing supply, home values respond accordingly. We've seen it happen. We've seen it happen in this market over the last decade, and the conditions that drove it are still in place, and in some ways, it is accelerating. Okay, so first, let's go ahead and talk about the infrastructure that's coming to Fuquay-Varina. This is where it gets interesting. Most people that are buying and selling right now in Fuquay-Varina, they don't have any idea that this is happening. The North Carolina 55 extension, okay? The NCDOT has fully funded already $176.5 million project called the NC 55 extension. This will extend North Carolina 55 from the US 401, North Carolina 42, and NC 55 intersection all the way to Judd Parkway, east of Stewart Street in Fuquay-Varina. It includes major intersection improvements at US 401 and North Carolina 42, which are some of the most congested corridors in town right now. The town of Fuquay-Varina says that this project's intent is to relieve existing and future traffic congestion by providing a more proficient connection to Judd Parkway. $176.5 million fully funded is coming to this corridor. Okay, so then you have the North Carolina 55 widening. That's $154.8 million. So this is separate from the extension we just talked about. North Carolina Department of Transportation has a $154.8 million widening project for North Carolina 55. That covers both Harnett and Wake counties and includes a new bypass. So segments A and B are already funded in the State Transportation Improvement Program. Here's why this matters for home values, okay? Combined, that is over $330 million in road investments coming to the 55 corridor that runs through and connects Fuquay-Varina. When commute times improve, buyer demand will follow. That's not speculation. That is what's happened in every other Triangle suburb that saw similar infrastructure investments. Cary got 540, Holly Springs got road improvements, home values followed every single time. Okay, so now let's talk about new schools. Okay, so if you're a family that's relocating to the Raleigh area and schools matter to you, pay attention to this section because what's happening in Fuquay-Varina right now is pretty significant. In August of 25, Wake County opened 4 brand new schools, all of them in the southern part of the county where the growth is happening. One of those was Bowling Road Elementary right here in Fuquay-Varina. And it does not stop there. Hilltop Needmore Elementary has opened in Fuquay-Varina. It just opened in July. It's a multi-track year-round school, a model that the district uses specifically in its fastest growing areas to increase capacity and serve more students. So the Wake County School District has 5 more new schools planned over the next 5 years. And the southern part of Wake County, including Fuquay-Varina, is where most of that growth is projected to land. So here's why this matters. Beyond just having good schools for your kids, when a school district is actively building new schools in a specific area, it's signaling long-term investment in that community. Buyers notice that. Property values near high-quality, newly built schools consistently hold and appreciate. The school investment happening in Southwest Wake County right now is a direct reflection of where the growth is going and where home values are expected to follow. Okay, so what's all this mean for home values? Let's start connecting some dots here on what all this means if you're thinking about buying or selling in Fuquay-Varina. For buyers, you are getting into this market ahead of 2 major infrastructure investments. and a wave of new school construction. History in this market is consistent. When roads improve and community infrastructure expands, the towns that were ready on the upward trajectory accelerate. Fuquay-Varina is on that trajectory right now. The families buying here today are getting in before the next wave of appreciation. For the sellers, if you've owned in Fuquay-Varina for 5 or more years, you've already seen what growth does to home values here. The question that is worth asking is whether the next chapter of growth supports staying, or whether it's time to take out your equity that you've built up and make your next move while the market's strong. So I'll tell you what I tell every client. The best time to have bought in Fuquay-Varina was 5 years ago. The second best time is before $330 million in road investments, improved commute times, and 5 more schools open up in your backyard. All right, so now let's look at the last 10 years versus the next 10 years. 10 years ago, Wake County had about 900,000 people. Today, we're approaching 1.2 million. So that's 33% growth in a decade. If that trajectory continues at even a modest pace, we're looking at another 300,000 plus residents by 2036. More people, constrained land supply, rising infrastructure investments, new schools, and Fuquay-Varina is sitting squarely in the path of all of it. The last 10 years built real equity for homeowners here. The next 10 years have every reason to do the same. I bought in Fuquay-Varina when people thought it was too far out. Every year since has validated that decision. I'm not predicting the future, but when you see $330 million in road investments, new schools opening every year, and one of the fastest growing populations in the country flowing directly into your market, the data tells a consistent story. So if you want to talk through what this means for your specific situation, whether you're thinking about buying in Fuquay-Varina, you already own here and want to know what your home is worth, or you're relocating to the Raleigh area and trying to figure out where to land, I'd love to have that conversation. I'm Gabe Button with Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Paracle. Subscribe here for more honest takes on this market. Book a free call with me in the link in the description. I'll see you on the next video.